So today we are looking at another way to solve quadratics, and it is with something called the quadratic formula. So on every question you'll see, our quadratic formula is going to be in this little box here up at the top. And we are going to be using what we know about A, B, and C to fill in this formula. So you want to make note of this. So the formula we'll be using every time is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Sounds like a lot, but I promise it's pretty simple, okay? So let's start with this equation here. We have x squared minus 18x plus 32 equals 0. We talked about on the last lesson how we want these to be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. If we look, I've got 1x squared minus 18x plus 32 equals 0. So this one is in standard form. So for my a value, remember a is at the front, so that is 1. My b value is here in the middle, negative 18. And my c value is my last number, positive 32. So what I'm going to do is use these numbers to fill in the blanks. So the first letter I want is b. So in this first group here, I'm going to take my b, which is negative 18. In the second blank, I want b again. So I'm going to fill in negative 18. Then we've got minus 4, and if we look, it says minus 4a, then c. So in this first one, I want my a, which is 1. And in the last one, I want c, which is 32. And then on the bottom it says 2, here 2a, so my a is 1. All right, now we get to use our calculator. So on my calculator, I'm going to break this up into groups. So I'm going to start with the first group here, negative parentheses, negative 18. So I'm going to type in negative parentheses, negative 18. When I press enter, I just get 18. So I will write down here 18, and then I'll bring down this plus or minus and the square root, and then I'm going to put all of this in the calculator. So I'm going to do parentheses, negative 18 parentheses squared minus 4 parentheses 1, 32. So notice I've got all of this matches my paper. I'll press enter and I get 196. So under that square root, I'm going to write 196. And then the final part is the 2 times 1. So I can type in 2 parentheses 1, enter, and I get 2. So this is where it's a little tricky because we have to use here this plus minus. So what this means is I'm going to have 2 answers. I'm going to have one that says 18 plus the square root of 196 over 2. And I'm going to have another that says 18 minus the square root of 196 over 2. And again, I can use my calculator. So on my calculator, I'm going to get a fraction. I can do alpha x to get the fraction. I'll type in 18. First, I want plus second square root, 196. And on bottom, I want 2. Press enter, and I get 16. Then I'm going to do it again, but this time I want 18 minus second square root 196 over 2. I'll press enter, and I get 2. So here I've got 2 answers, 16 or 2. All right, let's look at another one. All right, number 2, I've got 3x squared plus 7x plus 4. This does, or it is in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So I can start finding my letters. My a is 3. My b is 7. And my c is 4. So now I'll plug in. So I want B, B. So I want 7, 7. And then I want A, C at the end. So my A is 3 and my C is 4. And then on bottom, 2A, 2A, A is 3. So again, I just took the numbers and plugged them in with what the formula tells me. So again, let's go to our calculator and type in negative parentheses 7 and see what we get. Negative parentheses 7, we get negative 7. So I'm going to write negative 7 plus or minus, and then I'm putting all of this in the calculator. No square root yet. So I'm going to do parentheses 7 squared minus 4 parentheses 3 parentheses 4. So again, my calculator matches my paper. We press enter, and here I just get 1. So inside I put 1, and then lastly I need 2 times 3. So I'll do 2 parentheses 3, enter, and I get 6. So now this is where we use the plus or minus to get 2 answers. So I'm going to have negative 7 plus the square root of 1 over 6, and negative 7 minus the square root of 1 over 6. So on my calculator, I go and type in, get a fraction, negative 7 plus square root of 1 over 6, and I get negative 1. And then I'll do it again. There we go. With negative 7 minus second, there we go, second x squared, square root of 1 over 6, press enter, and I get negative 4 over 3. And that's it. Those are my 2 answers. All right, let's do one more just to make sure we see where all these numbers are coming from. All right, last one is 12x squared minus 13x plus 3. Again, this is in ax squared plus bx plus c. So I can start. My a is 12. My b is negative 13. And my c is plus 3. So I go to plug in. I want bb. So my b's are negative 13. And then I want ac. So a is 12. C is 3. And lastly, 2a. My A is 12. So using my calculator, I'm going to plug in the first part. So I'm going to plug in negative parentheses, negative 13, enter, and I get positive 13 plus or minus the square root, and I type in all of this that's under. So parentheses, negative 13 squared minus 4 parentheses 12, not 11, 12 parentheses 3, press enter. Here I got 25 over, lastly, 2 times 12. So 2 parentheses 12, not 11, 12. Enter, we get 24. All right, and lastly, we've got this plus minus, which means we want 2 answers. So I'm going to have 13 plus the square root of 25 over 24, and 13 minus the square root of 25 over 24. So let's see what these last 2 answers will be. I get a fraction, 13 plus second square root 25 over 24, enter. We got 3 over 4. Or another fraction, 13 minus second square root 25 over 24, enter. We get 1 over 3. So these are my 2 answers. All right, you've got a practice which looks very, very similar to this. You will be filling in all the blanks, putting your 2 answers. Some will be a whole number, some will be a decimal, some will be a fraction. So you can put in what you get. If you've got questions, please ask me or Miss B. Good luck.